Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod and this is Star Wars 7x7. We're at episode number 1649 and today we're continuing our look at what's happening in 2019 by going virtual, whether it's virtual reality or augmented reality or mixed reality or whatever term you like to use. And sometimes they're all applicable and sometimes only one or two of them are. It's one of those bizarre, newly defined charted worlds that we're going into. This whole idea of having experiences that go beyond what we can have in the real world or supplementing what we can have in the real world. In the case of, say, Secrets of the Empire, for example, all of these experiences, that is what we're talking about for 2019. And it's funny that I mentioned Secrets of the Empire. I mean, it's funny not haha. But I've been thinking about Secrets of the Empire, and that is, of course, the hyper reality experience. Yeah, that's the word that they use too, where either at Disney Orlando or Disney Anaheim, you go into a series of rooms with virtual reality gear on and haptic gear, I think it is. Hepatic would be related to liver stuff. But anyway, no, haptic gear, where you actually get feedback in the form of vibration and whatnot. And you actually go through a mission for Cassian and K2SO on behalf of the Rebel Alliance. And the Vader Immortal series that's coming out in 2019, or at least the first episode of the three-part episode or the three-part series, is coming out in 2019. We don't know when the other two are coming out. Could still be in 2019. Maybe it'll be spaced out and be in 2020 and 21 for all we know. But we do know the debut will be in 2019. And Vader Immortal is supposed to be an experience that builds on the Secrets of the Empire thing. Now, the reason why Secrets of the Empire also, that it's worth bringing up, if you can only go to Orlando or Anaheim, like those are the only options that you have right now. And yet, they have done it in other places. It was in London, for example. That's just, one to throw out there. And it occurs to me that the whole McCormick Place situation in Chicago is rather large, and ILMxLAB has set up virtual reality experiences, hyper reality, augmented reality, whatever you want to call it. They've set up these experiences at Celebration previously. The Trials on Tatooine thing was done at Celebration Orlando, for example. And so, they could do something new for Celebration Chicago, or they could go bigger and say, hey, we're doing this in the middle of America because we want to be able to get the entire Midwest that, may not necessarily go to Anaheim, that may not necessarily go to Orlando. And we've got the room at McCormick Place, and we've done these things in a mobile fashion before. So why not do Secrets of the Empire at Celebration Chicago? It seems like a, head smacking, come on, ILMxLAB, do this. Make it happen, guys and gals. That would be really super awesome. But one way or another, ILMxLAB is going to do some sort of beyond reality experience at Celebration Chicago. I mean, they've certainly set up that that history for it, and they've talked about how the future of entertainment is really heading in that direction, and the whole step inside our stories tagline that they're using over at ILMxLAB, there's every reason to believe that it's going to be a major event. And it's not necessarily going to be limited to the things that you can, put on your face, basically. I mean, at the rate that they've been going, I would expect the Jedi Challenges thing to get some sort of update or two or three. And I don't necessarily know, just based on what they've done so far, if it's really going to affect our knowledge of the story of Star Wars necessarily, or if it's just going to be more gameplay. Not that there's anything wrong with gameplay, but, there's gameplay, and then there's something that really, immerses you in a story, like the ILMxLAB motto about the step into our stories thing. So I would imagine that based on what they did with the Droid Repair Bay and Project Porg, of course, is out now and kicking around for the Magic Leap, and Trials on Tatooine and Jakku's Spy that they did on the Star Wars mobile app, I have a feeling that we're probably going to get something for the mobile app for 2019 as well, and that it will tie in somehow to Episode 9. That seems like another no-brainer kind of situation as well. And I would also suggest that, just going back to the Vader Immortal business, that since that story is only going to take place in virtual reality, it's going to be available only for that Oculus headset that Facebook has when it comes out. It also makes a heck of a lot of sense for them to be at Celebration Chicago as well, and giving people the opportunity to experience Vader Immortal, at least the first episode of it, because, you know, why not? Or at least, you know, a part of the thing. And yeah, it's a little bit difficult when you're going to have tens of thousands of people going through there to try to, you know, make it so that everybody has a shot at seeing this thing. And we don't even know necessarily how long each episode of Vader Immortal is going to be. So it seems like at least, you know, a small chunk of it, churn people through and see what's possible, basically. I think that's probably a very likely proposition for Celebration Chicago as well. And that, in a quick nutshell, is what we know and can intuit about what's going to happen with the Beyond Reality experiences for Star Wars in 2019. And that's almost going to do it for the episode. And I just want to, of course, remind you to subscribe if you're not already doing so, and to say thank you so much for subscribing if you already are or you're about to. And also, I hope you will consider supporting this daily dose of Star Wars joy by joining the community at patreon.com/SW7X7. And the last little bit I wanted to share with you, because, you know, if you've either, you know, watched the video version of the show or you've checked out our social media, then you've seen Padme. You've heard me talk about Padme, who is our new video production assistant, the Australian Shepherd mix that we brought into the family in December. And we just found out today, or at least we've had it, you know, more or less confirmed by our veterinarian, that she's actually deaf in both ears, apparently. And, you know, over the past couple of weeks that we've had her, Lonnie and I, Brainstormer Lonnie, for those of you who have been with me for a while, you know, she wouldn't respond to, you know, her name or to snaps or, you know, claps or whistles. Padme, not Brainstormer Lonnie, of course. And, you know, we kind of thought, well, you know, that's strange. Like, is it just puppy distractions? Like, you know, could she possibly have a hearing issue? And, you know, so we took her to the vet, and they told us that her breed and with her coloring, that, you know, there's a genetic condition generally that can cause her, you know, to be deaf, and cause Australian Shepherd mixes or dogs that have white in their ears, because apparently the pigment, somehow the lack of pigment in the hair in their ears makes it like so that they can't pick up on sound vibrations, and so they're actually unable to hear. And so, yeah, this makes things a little bit different with her, and we're going to have to think about training her differently and look at, I guess, vibrating collars or something. Not shock collars, don't worry. Like, no, just they're actual collars that vibrate instead. They just buzz, basically. They don't zap. So, you know, and I just felt like I needed to share it with you. So, you know, I hope you don't mind me, you know, sharing that bit of extra information about our little girl here, our video production assistant on the show. So, anyway, if you happen to have had experience with a dog who's had hearing loss of any kind, whether, you know, born deaf or whether became deaf, and, you know, resources, obviously this is stuff that we're going to be looking up ourselves and talking to our vet about. But, you know, if you have any resources, then by all means, you know, please do share wherever you happen to check out the show, or at sw7x7.com. That is going to do it for the show today. Thank you so much for joining me for it, as always, and may the Force be with you, wherever in the world you may be.
This podcast is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox. It is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other related Star Wars items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2019 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.